On tonight's brand new episode of Declassified, we go inside the hunt for one of history's most ruthless dictators, Saddam Hussein. Find out how a call about a detainee in Baghdad led U.S. forces right to the target.
And then the field phone rang, and it was the commander of the Special Operations Unit. He goes, "Well, the guy we're looking for, we picked up in Baghdad." I go, "Really?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "You know what we're doing tonight? We're going after Saddam." I knew we had to move that night because I think once that guy was captured, the word would eventually get back. You know, the reality is we didn't know what to expect. I mean, this was a difficult out there. It was the hometown of Saddam Hussein. Yes, there was going to be risk. So I expected a fight, a serious fight. Based upon lessons from other missions very similar to this, I said, listen, when does the moon come up? 2100 hours. Okay, sunset is about 6:30. I wanted to be absolute blackout conditions, no illumination whatsoever when we get onto the objective. That would give us an advantage. And I also wanted to move fast.
Wow. Joining me now is the host of Declassified, former chair of the House Intelligence Committee, and current CNN national security commentator, Mike Rogers. So good to see you, Mike. Wow.
Yeah,
that was
a
powerful piece of video right there of storytelling. Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about what we're going to see in tonight's episode.
Well, it's exciting. So we all know what happened at the end, but we don't know what all went into it. And so we're going to meet some of the Army interrogators who were trained in trying to find small little bits of information to find out actually where Saddam was. And you're going to find out it came down to the craziest series of events. One, a chef, and the other, a favorite fish of Saddam Hussein, and all the twists and turns that went in it. And think about this. You're trying to find a fugitive. It's hard enough in the United States where the police can go anywhere they want. Imagine trying to find a fugitive in Iraq when the insurgency is kicking up and all the challenges, twists, turns that go with it.
Mike, that was one hell of a tease there, a fish and a chef.
And you're going to have to watch to find out, Saddam.
I know. I mean, it's a great tease. I'm definitely going to be watching here. So tell us, when Saddam Hussein was finally caught, was there any discussion ever about keeping him as a U.S. prisoner rather than turning over him to the Iraqis who sentenced him to death?
You know, there was lots of discussion leading up to the Saddam capture. What would they do with him? But at the time, if you recall, that the new government was getting seated, and it was very, very important for the new government to have the adjudication of Saddam Hussein and what would happen to him in his own country by the next government. So it really was not a big debate about trying to bring him back and arresting him and putting him in a U.S. prison. It was more important to turn him over to this new burgeoning, hopefully, power in Iraq that was going to be the new democratically elected government. And of course, obviously, it didn't work out that way, but it was that was a really important step for that government to show that they could put a trial on, that it could be fair and was long, and then at the end of the day, they meted out the justice of which they wanted to see for their own leader for all the travesties he committed in Iraq.
And Mike, was there ever any thought, the United States thought that they'd be able to take him alive, especially after the shock and awe bombing?
Lots of worry. So you saw that little piece that where military commanders were thinking this is going to be a big bloody fight just to get at him, and they were afraid in the beginning that he would have some serious Ba'athist loyalists, military officers who had gone with him that would fight to the bitter end. So there was lots of worry that it was going to be a brutal fight just to get their hands on him, and if he would survive that or not, I think was a big question going into this operation.
And Mike, is there going to be any kind of surprise, a bombshell, something that perhaps we all didn't know in going after Saddam that you can share? Another tease, maybe?
You're gonna love it. Think of a great novel, Susanna. You're gonna find out some things in like any great spy novel, the twists, the turns, and the intrigue. It all happens tonight at 10 o'clock on Declassified in that hunt. And so think of all the things you think it would go. It probably doesn't happen that way, and that's why you've got to watch tonight.
All right, well, that's great advertisement. I'm going to watch. You got me hooked. You got me wondering.
Oh, good.
Mike Rogers, thank you.